We have about 5 agenda items today. And again, we do ask that you keep yourself muted at all times. Noise makes the meeting go a little bit smoother. It is 4 o'clock, so we are ready to get started here. I just need to start recording the meeting.
Okay, I'll call the Plan Commission meeting of December 1st to order. Mark, are there any members of the public that have logged in?
Yes, it looks like we have a number of individuals from the public or petitioners here with us today. So
Okay,
as we go
good.
through the items, we'll recognize them.
All right, good. Then I'd like to let people know, if they have not attended a meeting previously, that our process is to introduce each item and report site inspections, and then we have the staff presents a summary. Then there are technical questions by the Plan Commission to the staff, and then at that time we open the meeting for public comment. So as Mark said, please turn off your cell phones or other noise devices. That would help. Would you call the roll?
Okay, Valley. Davey.
Here.
Ford.
Here.
Rowe. Kiefer.
Here.
Mitchell. Terry.
Here.
Stengel.
Here.
Marshall. Hintz. Pratt.
Here.
Present 6.
Okay, Plan Commission, you have the November 17 minutes. What are your pleasure?
I make a motion to adopt. I'll second.
Any discussion?
And just to make sure we had that right, was that Mr. Kiefer with the motion, Mr. Ford with the second?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. If there is no discussion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
Opposed, no. Our minutes are approved. We'll begin with the item 1, the general development plan and specific implementation plan approval for a multifamily development located at Logan Drive, west of Jackson Street. Were there any site inspections? I had one. Anyone else with site inspections?
Please raise your hand if you had a site inspection. Looks like Kathy is the only one.
Okay. The chair will accept the staff report as part of the record. Staff, go ahead.
Thank you. So the subject site is located west of Jackson Street, a vacant parcel with frontage on Logan Drive, zoned MR20 PD, the surrounding area being mostly multifamily residential, commercial, and vacant land uses. Here's an aerial view of the subject site, again currently vacant. So here's the proposed site plan. It will include 6 townhome-style apartment buildings with 46 units for a total of 126 bedrooms. It will have 2 accesses from Logan Drive for 1 driveway going through the site. Each unit will have a 2-car attached garage. The site will meet all applicable parking space requirements, impervious surface requirement, and as well as setbacks. There will be a recreation area on the north side of the site for zoning ordinance. Here is the landscape plan. It is meeting all requirements for building foundation landscaping, paved areas, street frontage, and yards. There is just one paved area requirement they will need to address as part of site plan review, which is code requires 30% of the paved area landscaping points to be devoted to shrubs. So they need to verify that they're providing those shrub landscaping points for the paved areas. Here's the site lighting plan, which they had submitted a update actually yesterday. They're showing 20-foot tall poles with full cutoff fixtures per code. They are requesting a base standard modification for lighting level along the southern of the entrances, as they're exceeding 0.5-foot candles at the entrance. And they would like to exceed that 0.5-foot candles just to make sure they have enough lighting at that entrance, and staff is supportive as we do not see any issues with increasing lighting into the right of way in this case. Here are the building elevations. The applicant is requesting a VSM to allow reduced door and window area on the street-facing building ends to 12% door and window area, where code requires 20%. So these are going to be the building ends right here. They note that utility spaces as well as garage areas are located at the building ends, which do not allow for additional door or window areas. Also, they will have gas and electric meters along those building elevations, which minimizes the area they can add for door or window area. They did note that the gable pediment has been added to these facades to improve the appearance and increase design consistency. Staff is supportive of the VSM to allow the reduced door and window area, as there are hardships related to the building design, as well as the lot configuration that does not have feasible concealed side yard area for those facades. We also feel that the applicant has sufficiently offset the VSM by enhancing those facades with the use of gables and also including Class 1 materials, which are brick and stone veneer, to improve the appearance of these building ends. As far as having the gas and electric meters on the building ends, staff is recommending a condition that they match the color of the building, and also install landscape screening around those utility features to screen them from the right of way. So overall, staff is supportive of the development, as they are offsetting the requested VSMs by exceeding the overall landscaping point requirement, and they're also providing facade enhancements to improve the appearance of the buildings. And staff recommends approval of the GDP and SIP with the findings and conditions within your staff report.
So just a couple of additional comments. Something we've discussed a lot lately at Plan Commission is accessibility. So we did reach out to the development team a few weeks back and shared a lot of those same questions and concerns that Commissioner Member Mitchell, Commissioner Member Perry had brought up in the past, to have that open dialogue about trying to make sure we have units that are accessible. The applicants speak a little bit more about specifically what they're doing for accessibility. But I did want to make sure Plan Commission knew that we did reach out and have that discussion as Plan Commission has been wanting us to do.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there technical questions? There are, raise your hand. I'm not seeing any. If there are no technical questions, then I will open public comment and request a statement from the applicant, if the applicant is with us. Is the applicant here, Brian? Or Mark?
Yeah, it looks like we have a number of members from the applicant's team here. Abby, Chris, and Jesse, is there anything you'd like to add? You guys can unmute yourself and add any comments you may have. I think Mr. Youngbacher is also here if he's got any comments to add.
I guess I have no additional comments. I'm here with the engineering department. We also have Chris with architecture and Jesse with the construction. So if there are any technical questions, we're here to answer. Otherwise, the client is also present as well. And I have to apologize, I do not see the raise hand function in our view of WebEx, so.
This is Peter Youngbacher. I don't see the raised hand function either, so I am available to answer questions. Again, Abby and her team have been instrumental in preparing the documents that are in front of you today. This is a market rate multifamily apartment community that provides a deep list of amenities for residents in the community. I did review prior commission meetings, specifically as they were addressing accessibility matters, and this particular project has been designed to meet all applicable accessibility building code requirements. Also, we have in our 3-bedroom units, we have a bedroom on the ground floor with access via either the front entrance or the garage, both of which are at grade and could be accessible for virtually all tenants at the project. Beyond that, I don't have anything specific to add unless there is a question regarding the project. Again, it's a market rate product, market rate financing, and market rate rental rates.
Actually, I have a question, Peter. What is the mix of 1, 2, and possibly 3-bedroom units?
Well, we have no 1-bedroom units in the project. The bulk of the units are 3-bedroom units. We have 8 2-bedroom units that are located at the ends of each of the buildings, and the rest of the units are 3-bedroom units. So twos and threes only.
Frankly, I think that sounds wonderful. There's a dearth of 3-bedroom units available, I think.
I believe that is correct, and hence the predominance of that in our mix. We originally actually had all 3-bedroom units, but as we were trying to fit everything on the site, we winnowed that back a bit. But the vast majority of the units are 3-bedroom units. The size of the units as well, in terms of square footage, we're about 1,600 and change per square feet for the units. So they tend to be on the larger side of the equation for units in the market as well.
Wow. They will not be inexpensive, but they will be sought after, I think.
They will be market rate rental units. So we actually just, out of curiosity, had looked at what WIDA's current rental rates are for 3-bedroom units. The estimated maximum rent limits at 80% of HUD's estimated 2020 county median income, effective April 1st. And in Winnebago County, that rate is $1,681 per month. Now, that includes some utilities, which would have to be stripped out of that. So if you do that, you're probably in the high $1,500 per month for a 3-bedroom unit. And that's about the rental rate that we'll be asking for without utilities. So in spite of what WIDA has, the market is still lagging behind in what effective rental rates are for market rate units in this current market environment.
Well, thank you for that information. That's very helpful. Any Plan Commission questions of Mr. Youngbacher or other staff?
I'll jump in very quickly. It does look like I had a setting wrong in WebEx, so people could not raise their hand. They should now be able to do that. I corrected the issue.
Okay.
So I do not see any questions from the
No, I don't
public.
either. Okay. A public comment now then. Are there questions from the public on this Logan Drive? Or statements from the public? Well, I'm not seeing any either. Okay, then we'll close the public comment period. Does the applicant have anything else to say, or Peter or someone else on the team?
No, I think your comment though about the shortage of 3-bedroom units is well stated in our market analysis. We have 1 3-bedroom unit available on all of our inventory in the city, which I think is now under application. So there is a marked shortage of larger units with a full set of amenities. One thing we're doing here that may not have been specifically mentioned is we have in-suite washers and dryers. All the utilities are separate for the unit. So the electricity, sewer and water, the gas are all metered separately for each of the units. We have 2 bathrooms, full bathrooms in each of the 3-bedroom units. And the 2-bedroom units, we have fireplaces in the living rooms. There are vaulted ceilings in the units, patios in the back. So it's a fairly deep set of amenities, which I think will appeal to a set of the market that perhaps is underserved on the north side of Oshkosh at the moment. And we're hoping that the project will be well received and allow us to continue a second phase on the other side of Logan Drive in the near future.
Okay, thank you very much. Commission, I'll entertain a motion.
This is Ford. I'll make a motion to adopt the findings and recommendations as stated in the staff report.
Perry, second.
Okay, Commission, is there any discussion? I just would like to make a comment that the other side of Logan Drive is not the happiest of our city planning efforts, but it happened many years ago. And one of the issues, of course, is that it's isolated and there are no sidewalks and no public transportation from that site. So, however, with this development, it sounds like everyone will have their own transportation and that should not be a particular issue, but it's still an issue that there are no sidewalks and really access to Jackson Street from Logan Drive. Any comments on that, Mark?
I know Mr. Garrick is here. Justin, is a new development. This will require sidewalk, correct?
They can install it on their own, but with it not necessarily going anywhere, it wouldn't be a requirement. They will get it installed through the driveways. It's something, again, they can install on their own. Otherwise, at such time when council does order it in, it would get installed at that time. But I've not been made aware of any major concerns or requests up in this area for sidewalk, being that Logan Drive kind of doesn't go anywhere either.
But this could potentially be a section the city does look at ordering in to make sure these individuals have a connection. It could be ordered in on the development to the east as well, correct?
Absolutely.
That may be something we'll want to evaluate further. Excuse me.
Well, if there's no more discussion from the commission, we'll call for the vote.
Perry, Perry,
Aye.
I have to speak up a little more, Stephen. You're a little hard to hear.
okay. Stengel,
Aye.
Marshall, Kulavali,
Yes, aye.
Davy,
Aye.
Ford,
Aye.
Gross, Kiefer,
Aye.
Mitchell, Hintz, Pratt.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
Okay.
I don't know why, but it's not very easy to understand. We can live with it, but if something can be done to improve the sound of the microphone, that'll be good.
Yes, there's echo.
Yeah, Stephen, do you have a microphone direct in front of you? If you don't, make sure you do.
I do, Mark. Hopefully, I don't know. I think Jeff just addressed something on it, so we'll see if that fixed it or not.
And just now, that was nothing but echo. I really didn't hear anything clearly. Well, we'll open item 2, public hearing, zone change from central mixed use district with a planned development overlay to central mixed use district alone at 502 North Main Street. Were there any site inspections? The chair will accept the staff report as part of the record. Staff, go ahead and give us your summary.
Thank you. So the subject site is the Wagner building located at the northeast corner of North Main Street and Merritt Avenue. Earlier this year, it was rezoned to have a planned development overlay to allow for additional signage beyond what code allows. And as temporary signage, the temporary signage has now been removed. So the city is requesting to remove that planned development overlay to just have it zoned straight central mixed use, as there's no longer a need for planned development overlay. There are no unique circumstances that necessitate having that planned development overlay. So staff recommends approval of the zone change from central mixed use district with the planned development overlay to central mixed use district.
Are there technical questions of the staff? Mike Ford.
Yes, so this petition was brought by the city, correct? So the applicant or the owner of the property was not charged a fee?
That is correct. The city is the petitioner on this. If Plan Commission and Council will recall, at the time that this plan development went forward several months back, everyone had kind of indicated they felt we should remove it when it was complete. So based on that feedback we had from Council and Plan Commission, we went ahead and moved forward with that zone change and removed the PD once the sign was taken down.
Awesome, thank you.
Any other technical questions? Then we'll open the public hearing. And since the applicant is the city, there's no applicant present directly here, right?
Correct. We are the applicant.
Okay. Is there any other public comment on this zone change? Any public that wishes to speak on this zone change? If not, I'll close the public hearing. And Commission, we need a motion.
Move to adopt the findings and recommendation as stated by staff.
Second. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, we'll call the roll.
Okay, can you hear me now? Sorry, can you guys?
Mark, are you calling the roll?
Yes, I'm trying. This is Stephen.
Okay.
Okay, Perry?
Aye.
Can you hear me?
Aye.
Stengel?
Aye.
Coulibaly?
Aye.
Phoebe?
Aye.
Sorry about the audio issues. I'm trying to fix them here. Ford?
Aye. Aye.
Keeper?
Aye.
Crop?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
Okay, this is gonna be fun audio, but we'll get through it. Item 3
I
is a
apologize.
general.
We're having Jeff try to correct it right now for you guys.
Okay, thank you. Or maybe we should talk about should we talk about item 3B separately, the access control part of it, or just talking about it all together right now?
We'll do a combined presentation on both 3A and 3B, and then we'll do a separate vote for 3B after.
All right, thank you. Then item 3A and 3B, general development plan and specific implementation plan for a commercial development at 1870 Oshkosh Avenue, followed by access control variance discussion. Were there any site inspections? I'm always driving by there. The chair will accept staff report as part of the record. Staff, go ahead with the summary. And
Just a second. They're trying to get the audio corrected so you guys can hear a little better.
okay.
All right, Brian, you should be able to go ahead. Can you hear us, Brian? Brian, it looks like your mic is muted. There you go. Go ahead now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Can you pull up the PowerPoint? Just pulling up the PowerPoint again. Okay. So the subject site has frontage on Oshkosh Avenue, North Kohler Street, and Rath Lane. It is zoned corporate business park with a planned developments overlay. So here's a view of the subject site. The applicant does plan to combine the property with the two neighboring parcels to the west. So here's the site plan. The applicant is proposing a commercial financial institution building with a 4-lane drive-through on the west side of the building. The site will have one entrance and exit and one exit-only access, both along Rath Lane. The development will require an access control variance, or actually multiple access control variances, one for reduced lateral clearance and one for driveway spacing, which we'll address at the end of this item. The applicant is requesting a BSM to allow additional parking spaces beyond the code maximum of 19.5 spaces. They're requesting 28 total spaces. According to the applicant, they need these additional spaces as they anticipate having 12 employees and 14 customers at a given time, and need 2 additional spaces for additional staff or outside vendors. They also requesting a BSM for the dumpster enclosure placement, as it's located between the building and public right-of-way. So it's located to the north of the building, between the building and Rath Lane. Staff does feel that's an appropriate location, as it's along the more minor of the street frontages, and it is sufficiently set back from the front property line. The applicant is requesting BSMs for street setbacks. So the code requires a 30-foot setback from all 3 frontages. The building itself will meet all setbacks. However, setbacks for parking area along the north and the east will be 28.66 feet from the north, 15 feet or 20 feet from the east, and then it'll be a 15-foot setback from Oshkosh Ave for the drive-through lane. Staff is supportive of these reduced setbacks as there are site constraints related to the unique lot configuration that result in difficulties meeting these setbacks and also providing sufficient parking. And this is something that we had discussed with Plan Commission during a workshop, and they were supportive of this drive-through on the west side of the building. So here's the landscape plan. They will need to add additional shrubs to meet the overall building foundation landscaping requirement. They are requesting a BSM to allow the 50% main entrance side building foundation landscaping requirement to be devoted to the south and east sides rather than the front. Staff is supportive of that as the south and the east are the more prominent street frontages. They are missing 4 parking row end trees, so they will need to add those parking row end trees. We can address that during site plan review. Also, they are showing medium trees being applied to the paved area landscaping requirement rather than tall trees as required by code. And they're showing the tall trees along the street frontage. So if they would kind of switch those around to have the tall trees for the paved areas and the medium trees for the street frontage, they could meet both paved area and street frontage requirements. So that's another thing we'll have to address during site plan review. Also, the corporate business park standards require 50% of the yard landscaping points to be located along street frontages, and they are meeting the overall or exceeding the overall yard landscaping point requirement, but they will need to verify that 50% of those points will be located along those street frontages. Also along the Oshkosh Avenue right-of-way, staff is recommending a condition that 200 tall and medium evergreen tree landscaping points be included kind of in front of that drive-through lane to provide a year-round visual buffer from the drive-through lane. Here are the signage plans. They're proposing wall signage, which appears to meet code requirements of maximum of 1 square foot per linear foot of building frontage. They are showing a monument sign. The size will be 9 foot 6 inch tall by 15 foot wide along the intersection of Oshkosh Avenue and North Kohler Street. The proposed sign will be a 15-foot setback from Oshkosh Avenue and 20-foot setback from North Kohler Street, where 30 foot is required. So staff is supportive of the setback reduction for that monument sign, as it is consistent with reduced setbacks of neighboring monument signs within the corporate business park district to the east. Also, they're providing landscaping around the base of the sign to soften the view from the public right-of-way. Here is the lighting plan. It does meet the code requirement of 0.5 foot candle or 0.4 foot candles for all parking and drive areas, and not exceeding 0.5 foot candles at property lines. It is providing full cutoff fixtures and will not exceed the maximum height of 25 feet. Here are color renderings of the building facades. Here are renderings of the building facades in the upper left. So they are exceeding the class 1 material requirement on all facades, and they are requesting BSM for reduced door and window area on the north facade, which is fronting Rath Lane. So staff is supportive of a reduction to 29.2% as proposed, where 40% is required. And we are supportive of this because they are exceeding the overall class 1 material requirement, and that will serve to enhance the appearance of all facades. And again, here's the color renderings. So the applicant is requesting BSMs for decreased setbacks, increased parking, landscaping point adjustment, and reduced sign setbacks, as well as reduced street-facing door and window area on one facade. And the applicant is offsetting those BSMs by exceeding the overall landscaping requirement, and they're also exceeding the overall class 1 material allotment for all building facades. Here's the dumpster enclosure rendering, and they will be using brick to match the building as required by code. So with that, staff recommends approval of the general development plan and specific implementation plan with the findings and conditions listed in your staff report. And as earlier mentioned, they will need 2 access control variances. So one of which will be for stacking, and that'll be for the entrance and exit. They're proposing to reduce down to, I believe, 46 feet, where code requires 75 feet. Staff is supportive of that reduced stacking distance as it's relatively low traffic counts to the site, and they will still be able to fit 2 to 3 cars for stacking within that lane. They're also requesting a access control variance for reduced spacing of the 2 driveways to 63 feet, where code requires a 105-foot spacing. Staff is also supportive of this as the western access is only for exit and should not cause any traffic concerns.
Are there technical questions from the commission?
Just a couple of additional comments from staff, if I
Okay.
could. There are a number of base standards here. They are consistent with what we've done for a lot of the area. Obviously, the corporate business park has been held to a much higher standard than a lot of our other zoning code requirements. So this is kind of in line with what we do to the east with Mr. Hoopman's developments, Mr. Steiner's developments, the Casey's, some of them other, where, we're pushing the signs out in front. We want those buildings all right at the 30-foot setback wherever possible. I'm trying to have the drive-through facilities shielded as the best as we can. This developer's done that again, a little bit of additional landscaping, in this situation by kind of relocating that drive-through to loop around. We have necessitated the need for that second access drive, which is why we're going through the access control variance as well. So I just wanted to note that the project is very consistent with a lot of what we've done in the area. The reduction on the window requirement for the north facade, when we wrote that requirement, we were really looking at those immediate street facades. When we get into some of these triple frontage lots, the intent of it was never to apply for that north facade, but the way the code got written, it does technically apply. So it makes sense to grant some of these waivers just in the scope of the project.
Okay. Technical questions, anyone?
Can you display the landscaping slide again, please? Okay, thank you. So on the south side, okay, which is on the left side on this, yes. So the landscaping there, I presume, is to mask the traffic in the along the drive-through, but I have the impression that there is an open window, to the at the bottom of it. So could that be expanded a little bit so that it can be functional?
I think one thing is they had shown the 2 tall trees there. They had shown those as being street frontage landscaping points, but if they would shift those to be the paved area points, and they put the medium trees as required by code to meet that point, that 50% point requirement, I think that will kind of shift some of these landscaping to further to the south to provide more buffer there.
Okay. All right. So it is not quite the way it looks like here.
Correct. They'll need to be adjusted, and we'll address that during site plan review to make sure they're meeting that street frontage landscaping, and then also providing the evergreen trees along the drive-through to screen that from Oshkosh Ave.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a couple minor variations that need to be made to make the landscape plan code compliant. It's why we typically in these situations, you'll see add that condition of final landscaping plan to be approved by community development, so we can make sure we go through these slight modifications needed with the applicant, but still keep them on track for their project.
Okay, I see that Margie has raised her hand. Is that right?
That's correct. I don't know if this is so much a question as a comment. First of all, it's beautiful. It looks very nice. It looks the renderings with all the trees and the pretty brick, it all looks terrific. But I do have some concerns about the size of the sign. I know it's consistent with everything else we've been doing there, Mark, but my concern is that it's going to be difficult for cars that are pulling out to see people coming or bicycles coming. And we have to remember this is an entrance to the park. So I think that we're kind of forgetting we've even got a park back there since we don't actually see that yet. I also have a concern about the amount of the impervious surface. I know it's showing up on here as 32%, and Brian and I talked about this earlier today. That's because, of course, of the large section that is nothing at this point, but hopefully that is going to be something someday. And so I do think it's a little misleading to say that this is 32% when we know that's not their final intention. However, that said, I know we did cut down on or add some last time we discussed this because of the safety issue, and safety does trump sustainability, I guess. Speaking of sustainability, though, one solution to the additional parking spaces may have been to realize that this is on a bus route and that this is a location where potentially there could have been bus riders that work there, or there could be carpooling going on. I'm not sure that allowing all the parking that anybody could ever use is really the most sustainable action that we have. But again, these are just comments I wanted to make about this. I'm not going to vote against any of this. It looks nice, it does.
Yeah. One thing I will note with the sign, that's something that staff had a concern with, is visibility there. It is out of our clear sight triangle as required by code. So we did want to make sure we're not impacting those direct sight lines. Definitely concern we share with you as well.
Thank you, good to know.
John Kiefer, are you wanting to say something? You've got your hand raised.
No, that was from earlier. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, then lower your hand, maybe. There you go. Thank you. Anybody else have technical questions? I'm not seeing any. Then we'll open the public comment and request a statement from the applicant if the applicant is with us.
Good afternoon. I know this is Brandon Grease with the architectural firm, and I know Greg Hilbert, the owner rep, is on as well. Greg, I'll just make a quick statement, and then if you want to mention anything, you can. Appreciate you guys hearing this tonight. Staff's been great to work with up to this point, and glad we went through that workshop session. I think we're all happy with the outcome of how that worked for us and the city with the drive-through. One thing that I would like to specifically address is I know the landscaping concern to block the drive-through has come up. If you want to flip to that, and talking with the owner group, we're all about screening it, but there's also an ATM out at the end island, and there has been some security issues in the past. So we just don't want to make it too dense where it makes it for a place for somebody to hide. So just want to mention that, so staff is open to it as we're going through discussing revisions to the landscape plan. Also, what's not shown here is on Amaral Road or Oshkosh, there is a wall that starts to go up. So as far as screening, there's already a vertical wall constructed that starts to go up for the bridge overpass. But outside of that, if any particular questions, we're here to answer. We appreciate all the help that Mark and Brian and the entire staff have given us. So that's all I had to say.
Any questions? Actually, I have a question relating to the vacant part of the site that is not part of today's action. Do you have anything planned for that?
There's nothing planned today. Really, that was a purchase that the site was really narrow, and it was secondarily it allowed us to get the driveway or the drive-through not going past the front of the building. So really, there's no plan for that parcel to date.
Okay, so it'll be green space for the time being then?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions of the applicant? I don't see any. Is there any additional public comment? Anybody from the public wishing to speak on this item? Anybody wishing to speak on this item? Okay, I don't see anybody. Then we'll close public comment. Any closing statements from the applicant? Anything else you want to say?
Nothing from my end. Greg, did you have anything else to add?
Can you hear me, Brennan? And
Yes.
everyone?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, no, I think you summed it up very well, to be honest, Brennan. Appreciate the comment as well on some of that final tweaking and the landscaping out by the ATM and the drive up. Obviously, when you're giving out cash, we just got to be conscious of, bad guys, so to speak, hiding near that area. That would be the only thing, that we would hope to continue to work with staff on any fine tuning there. But clearly we want to make this a win-win for both, the city and this area of Oshkosh, and appreciate all the helpful advice and the efforts put forward. So with that, thank you.
Okay, Commission, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to adopt the findings and recommendations as stated in the staff report.
I'll second.
Did you get those names, Mark?
Yep, Mr. Kiefer with the motion, Mr. Ford with the second. And Stephen, go ahead and call the roll. Brian, you're going to have to unmute the conference room, and then Stephen can call the roll. Apologize for some of the technical difficulties today.
Okay, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yep, go ahead, Stephen.
Okay, great. Perry?
Aye.
Stengel?
Aye.
Coulibaly?
Aye.
Davy?
Aye.
Ford?
Aye.
Kiefer?
Aye.
Prop? Prop?
I think you're muted, Kathy.
Am I better now?
Yep.
Okay. That was item 3A that we just voted on. We should have noted that. So now we need to take a vote on a motion and a vote on item 3B, correct?
Correct.
Okay, then we need a motion on the access control variance portion.
I move we adopt the findings and recommendations as stated in the staff report.
Perry, second.
Okay, we have a motion. Any discussion? All right, you may call the roll, whoever's doing it.
Okay. Perry?
Aye.
Stengel?
Aye.
Coulibaly?
Aye.
Davy?
Aye.
Ford?
Aye.
Kiefer?
Aye.
Prop?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
Okay, we're moving right along. Item 4 is a public hearing, conditional use permit request to make a legal use under the previous ordinance, a legal conforming use at 3849 3851 and 3850-2852 Parkview Court.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Can everybody hear me?
Were there any site inspections? I guess not. The chair will accept the staff report as part of the record. And now you can go ahead to give the staff report.
Thank you. Can everybody hear me? Okay.
Yep. Go ahead, Jeff.
Okay. This request is going to be utilizing section 30-131 sub B sub 2, which states that any legal use under the previous zoning ordinance, which is made non-conforming by this chapter, may apply for a conditional use permit to be granted legal conforming status. The subject site is a 1.25 acre lot generally located north of Snell Road, approximately a quarter mile east of Jackson Street. The property contains 2 duplexes, an 800 square foot, 4-car detached garage, 3 driveways, and off-street parking areas. The property was developed in 1978 as a legal conforming use while in the town of Oshkosh. And then in 1991, the property was annexed into the city as part of the McBriar annexation. When it annexed into the city, the use became legal nonconforming, as the city at that time and currently does not allow multiple single or 2-family structures on a single parcel by the zoning ordinance at that time. The applicant made initial contact with the city to inquire about possible land division to separate the 2 duplexes, but due to the site design, it was impractical and would have been costly to effectively split the parcel into 2. The initial thought was, or the applicant was requesting a land division that would have split the detached garage in 2. However, that would have required unsupportable variances from the Board of Zoning Appeals. And then the second option was he could have designed a lot line that would designate that 4-car garage to one of the 2 duplexes, but that becomes a costly dilemma, as one of the duplexes would be deficient and required off-street parking, and a large amount of pavement would need to be removed and restored to a natural state. So the applicant is planning to relocate from Arizona and reside in the northern building, the 3850/52 building up here. The adjacent unit would be occupied by the applicant's mother. The other duplex on the south side would continue to be used as a rental unit. For the applicant's submitted materials, she is proposing to construct a 8-foot wide addition along the back of the northern duplex, and another addition to construct a 20 by 20 attached garage towards this corner of the existing building. Well, with the use of the property being legal non-conforming, the zoning ordinance prohibits any type of additions or alterations to existing structures. Only ordinary maintenance of the existing structures is allowed, and that is limited to 50% of the current assessed value over the life of the structure. If the conditional use permit is granted, the proposed addition, the applicant would be allowed to construct the proposed addition with additional site plan review and any building permits that are required. The current zoning of the property is MR12 or multifamily residential 12, which allows multifamily uses and structures. However, that's with a minimum of 3 units per structure. The property could be considered multifamily, that it is 4 total dwelling units, and it's similar to recently approved duplex developments on the south side of town off of Hunter's Ridge and Whitetail Lane. However, the ones on the south side of the city are classified as group developments, which are 3 or more principal structures on a single parcel, while this only has 2 principal structures. The unit density of the property can be considered low for the MR12 district, which comes in at 3.2 units per acre. Based on the layout of the property, it would be considered very unlikely that any additional structures could be built efficiently, I guess, anyways. The applicant is not proposing any changes to the site other than the planned addition to the northern building. The use of the property will continue to be used as a duplex development and will not have any impact on the surrounding properties. Oh, I should have showed this earlier. This site plan shows the proposed addition on the north side or the northwestern side of the building. This is an 8-foot wide addition, and then a little more of a habitable addition here. And then this is where the 20 by 20 attached garage would be located. And this is just a front view looking west from Parkview Court. The buildings appear to be well maintained and good shape. And just some oblique views to get a better feel for the property. Staff is in support of the conditional use permit, as it will take this non-conforming use and make it a conforming use. There will be no adverse effects to the surrounding area since the use has already been established and has been there for over 40 years, and there's no significant changes planned. In looking at the duplexes, the structures with the CUP approval, the owner will also be allowed to do continued maintenance on it without worrying about the 50% cap over the life of the building. So staff is in support of the CUP as requested.
Are there technical questions? I don't, Margie.
This isn't actually a technical question, it's more of a typo question, but I believe that we mean 3850, 3852, right? And all the paperwork says 28, just in case it's something legal, I thought I'd bring that up.
Yes, that was a typo. I'm sorry.
I thought so. Look right. Any other technical questions? But then I'll open the public hearing. I'm sorry, I seem to be echoing. Is there an applicant present, Mark?
Yes, she is here, Madam Chair. Barbara Renault.
Yes. Yes, and I want to thank you for your consideration for this permit.
Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Well, I am looking forward to moving back to Wisconsin, where I was born and raised, and all my family reside. Although it's lovely in Arizona, it's not family. So I'm anxious to go home to Wisconsin.
Good choice. Is there any other public comment? Somebody else from the public that wishes to speak? I'm sorry, I am echoing. Seeing none. Commission, you wish to make a motion?
I move to adopt the findings and recommendations as stated in the staff report.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All right, call the roll.
Perry,
Aye.
Stengel,
Aye.
Kulabali,
Aye.
Davy,
Aye.
Ford,
Aye.
Kiefer,
Aye.
Prop.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. Is there any other business, Mark?
No, just one other final comment. I know I did put this out in the email to the commission members, but Mina Cuss, the recording secretary for the Plan Commission, is going to be moving on from the city. So wish her luck in her new adventure, and We will be replacing her with a new recording secretary for the Plan Commission.
Tell Mina we will miss her.
Will do.
And we will clear up the audio, I hope, by next time.
Yeah, we'll work with IT and see what we can do to get this fixed. Again, I apologize for the issues today.
Okay, then motion to adjourn is in order.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. All right, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.